famous.
Says, so this the shir is about Shemay Sakin Kli Shir. Chacham made a issue that you can't play instruments on Shabbos because you might come to either make a kli or fix a kli. There's two parts, two chashashis of the gzeira. And as a result of that, there are other things also, not just playing instruments, but also dancing, clapping, and other types of musical things that might be musical or similar to being musical when you might have a chashash. And so let's say the makar of the Isser, it's in a few places. One case in the first Ma'amak in Erevin, over there the Gemara has machlikas. What is the Isser? There's the Havamina that even just making noise is also. The Havamina that you're not allowed to clap on doors. But any mashmas koil and making any noises is also on Shabbos. But we don't paskin like that. This is in the first Ma'amak in Erevin, Daf Kov Daled Amar Aleph. The Gemara says, Ula iklo levei Rav Menashe. So Ula was at Rav Menashe's house, as yet. In Asa Hu Gavra Taraf Habava. One guy came by and started knocking on the door. So Amar Manhaim, who is this person? Lischol Gufi de Kamachil L'Shabsa. Who is this person? He's coming and he's being Mechal Shabbos now by knocking on the door. So Amar Li Rabba told him, Le Asra La Kil Shel Shir. Chamar only Asra Kil Shel Shir, musical noises. So now they thought they're making any noises also. In the second Ma'amak, in the Beiseza brings the Yerushalmi. The Yerushalmi, there's a shit over there that tackles, you're talking about knock on doors on Shabbos. Makes nice to someone say that all this Shabbos by night he stayed late at Shul, and when he came home everyone's ready to sleep. So he slept outside on the floor. So yeah, you don't want to knock, you don't want to be Mechal Shabbos. So Shulchan Aruch doesn't pass him like this, although the Gra Taka says that's the Iker. The Gra we don't have to read the second Ma'amakim, but in the end of it, in parentheses, the Bir Gra writes, Ahal Iker Nira Ki Yerushalmi, Ve'ini Mutar Akim, Eini Miskav L'Kil Chal. If you're making any noises, binging on anything, and you're miskaven to make noise, the Gra passing is like the Yerushalmi that it's also. So people are machmer for the Gra, take on the Gra schum as they can knock on doors on Shabbos. But the halacha, that's not how the Shulchan Aruch paskins. And so the main gzeira, that's the most pashta thing, which is also is playing instruments. The Gemara in Beya says not only playing instruments but also clapping and other things. This is in the third Ma'amakim. Shulchan Aruch says in Siman Shin Lamed Tes of Gimel, Ein mitapchin. We're not mitapeach, which means the hak is kaf al kaf. We don't clap. V'loi misapkin, which is the hak is kaf al yarich, which you clap on your lap. V'loi mirakdin, and we don't dance on Shabbos. Why gzeira shemi yasakin klei shir? So gzeira you might come to fix or make an instrument. V'afilu lahakis be'etzba ala karka, even just to bang with your tap with your finger on the floor, on a board, or on a table. Or to snap on Shabbos. If you're doing it with a kavanah to make it sound musical, it's or to make a noise by rubbing or banging nuts together, latinik, for a child, or to make a noise with a bell, in order to quiet a child down. All these things are asr, gzeira shemi yasakin klei shir. Because you might come to fix an instrument. So you see, even things which aren't instruments, but if you're making noise in a musical way, your kavanah is to make a beat or to make a rhythm with it. You're not just banging on the door, so it's asr. Once your kavanah, so just tapping on a table with trying to make a drumming on the table with your hands is going to be asr if you're trying to make a beat with it. And then the Mechaber says that wasapi klachar yad muter. If you're doing a klachar yad, it's okay to clap like this. I think some places people do that on Shabbos. No? There is. At the end, everyone will say the Sichos Kodesh Rebbe makes fun of it, but so klachar yad is fine. To clap and do it. To clap klachar yad is fine. And so this is the issue. And so there is so that on the shaila does this gzeira apply nowadays? Maybe nowadays it's not shaykh. People don't build instruments on their own, so maybe the gzeira is not shaykh anymore. So Teises and Deyataka says this, and that nowadays there's no issur of clapping and doing these things because no one knows how to make their own kelim. You have the umam, you buy it from the store. People don't build it on their own. And
the chashash is that you don't build your own.
Yeah.
There's two parts of the chashash. You might fix it, and if you're playing with a kli and it breaks, you might fix it. And another part of the chashash is even if you're just clapping, we're also worried that you're gonna make a kli.
Because they were just in 2 seconds to make it clear in the olden days. No, really.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they did that.
I don't know how they did it either, man.
They had a string and a piece of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Make a little drum. Turn over the cup. Start playing.
So there's two. So the Rama brings this down as a limit schus for people. People clap and they do things on Shabbos. So first of all, he says multiple yeshayim, whatever. They're not going to listen. And second of all, he says it's not shaykh. And he says since there's a yeshayim that it's not shaykh the l'gzeira nowadays, so it's a limit schus for them. So Mikra, then we hold this also. We have a limit schus. So the Rama, this is in the fourth Maramakim. So he says, this that people clap and they dance nowadays on Shabbos. When people don't tell them off. Why? Better, they knew the chances are they weren't going to listen, and let them better they should do it by mistake than they should know it's also and do it on purpose and still do it anyways. And there's limits people are malamed schus, the bizman hazeh hakol shari. Nowadays it's all mutter. The einon nebekim b'asiyas klei shir. We're not bucky in how to make instruments. And maybe there's no chashash that maybe we're gonna make a shir or you're gonna make an instrument. You don't
have that though. It's not a thing. When something is asr mitzad din Gemara, even if nowadays it doesn't apply, we still hold of it.
The shaila is one. It's not always. Tesis over there it says it's similar to the din of Mayim Megulin. The Gemara says Mayim Megulin you're not allowed to drink, which was left open for a while. You can't drink it because of sakana, because the snakes are different. Bugs might drink from it and it'll be poisoned. But nowadays that they aren't, that it's not shchiach. We don't have that anymore. The gzeira doesn't apply.
You have the din of ksamim, for example, which is kikiris.
Is kikrit. So yeah, that's a kula. It's not a chumrah, but yeah. And so the shaila is how do you decide which takanas are in isbatel and which ones are not in isbatel? And this is a big sugya. Does it come up by chalavat? Maybe. Can say I didn't go into it so much, and I was doing a trip from the Minchas Halas. There he's master a little bit what the chiluk is. He says that when it comes to Mayim Megulin, even in times of when Chazal made the gzeira, they themselves only made the gzeira for places where they had bugs around. So even B'shaite, they weren't misaking this gzeira for places where there weren't any bugs. So you see, even B'shaite, so it's not that you're being referred to the gzeira. They themselves said it doesn't apply in cases where there are no bugs. So now that there are no bugs or animals coming to drink from it, so it's fine. Whereas as opposed to l'chatchila, if they made the gzeira across the board, and now you want to change it. So I guess you just have to say a similar thing, that when they made the gzeira Shem Yisakin Klei Shir, they only made it for places where people knew how to build their own instruments.
What about Rabbi Shel Shayatin? It's the same type of thing. You're not allowed to store them on Shabbos because maybe you'll make those small boats.
I don't know. Saying it's not shchiach now, people don't know how to build their own boats.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't use it. It had to just being that.
Teisus Taka says it's mutter.
Right.
Yeah,
Did Teisus say that that's mutter?
Oh no, Teisus didn't say that. Teisus says Hashem clapping and dancing. So Akron is a limit schus. So we'll see later for the heta. The reason why we're chasna make to clap on Shabbos is specific of the Rama Teisus. And so that's a shine. So the pale we said we're still the Isra is still noyeg, but there's a sniffle hakel. So till now we only said that the whole gzeda is only when you're doing taka, trying to make musical noises. And however, the Ramah brings down a chumrah from the Agur and the Maril that even if you're not making musical noises, but you're using a utensil which is designated for making noise, I guess like a door knocker, or one of the bells, or the teacher's bell, you have to get people's attention. So it's not musical. So Pashas, you would think it's fine. You're just making noise. There's no isser making noise. The isser is only the isser shami sakin klei shir is only if you're doing musical things. So the Maril as it brings it brings a minhag that they're machmir even for things which are not musical, but it's designated for making noise. So this is in the fifth Maramakim, Shulchan Aruch in Simshil Amud Ches Sif Aleph. It says Hashmas Koil Bekli Shir Aser. So playing music, making noise with a musical instrument is Aser. But just banging on a door, you're not doing it in a musical way, is fine. And the Ramah says, "V'cheinim le'avid ma'aseh shari." So Ramah, so before we get to other to things designated for making noise, Ramah tells you another kula that if you're not doing a ma'aseh, meaning you're just whistling or singing, there's no isser. We're not worried about shamei sakin klei since you're not doing a ma'aseh.
What's considered a ma'aseh?
Clapping, dancing.
With your hands.
Yeah, with your hands. Your hands would be considered a ma'aseh.
Deeper.
But just whistling is fine. It says v'lochin elu shekoyin lechavreim tzafsifim b'fiam. People are calling their friends and they whistle, kamei tzipor, like a bird. Muter lasis v'shabbos. And Magen Avraham says even if you're whistling, even if you're miskaf l'shem shir you're whistling a song, you're doing it in a musical way, it's still muter. Whistling is fine on Shabbos, even if you're whistling.
Is it accepted?
Yeah, whistling.
No, there's no plus or whatever.
There is. Who is it? There's the Chavas Yar here. Taiwan wants to say maybe it's he mentions it's an issue. He says he shouldn't whistle musically, but saying that the Magen Avraham says it's fine, even if you're miskav on the shir, even if you're trying to play a song. Magen Avraham, I think how that brings down also.
We didn't whistle by the Rebbe Bringing to Shabbos.
Hmm?
There's no whistling by the Rebbe Bringing.
No whistling. I'm not. It's all different.
On Shabbos?
It wasn't Shabbos for Rebbe?
I don't know.
I think it was, no? The whole
The
sikha about, the whole sikha about clapping or whistling. But the Haytachan, the Taisvis, it says you're allowed to, the whole sikha, sharp sikha. Haytachan Bavitcher, the name of the Taisvis, that says you're allowed to.
I wrote one. There's one over here. That's not about clapping. Clapping.
It's clapping. Maybe it's clapping.
It's not about whistling. I didn't see it. And the Shadi comes up. What about whistling? Like whistling with your fingers, plain whistling, whatever. That's nothing fine. You're not doing a maisa. But if you're whistling with your fingers, that's considered doing a maisa, which is going to be also if you're doing it musically. Well, first of all, so it's not really musical, right? It's but if you're doing it together with a song, would that be also? So I didn't get a chance to look this up, but I saw whatever Achayim argue about it. The Aruch HaShulchan says it's also not the maisa with your hands, because your hands it's your mouth that's whistling. Your hands are just helping it out. I saw quote the Mishnah Halacha says it's an issue. So I didn't get to look into that so much, but plain whistling is mutar, even if you're doing it musically. Fine. So in number 5, the second piece of the Ramah. So now the Ramah brings another chumrah that even though we say that banging on a table or banging on a door, since you're not miskav doing musically, it's okay. But if the kli is designated for this, it's asr. He says, "Asr lahakis b'shabbos ala deles." You're not allowed to bang on the door with b'tabas hakavua b'deles, with the chain or the ring which is attached to it, which is made for banging. Even though he's not miskaven to do it in a musical way. Since this kli is made for making noise, it's also. Therefore, when the sham should go around waking everyone up in the morning for shul, you can't. They had some kli which he would use every week, so he can't use it. He has to bang with his hand on the door. He can't use the kli. So Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
So Shaila, right? So the base says if he's bothered, what's the issue? So we hold banging his mutter. You're worried about it's not usually it's only music, which is the issue. So there's different diurim which are given. Maybe it's because maybe you're going to be miskab in the shir. That's what the base of beer, the base says, and the Aruch HaShulchan and the Mishabur, they want to say that it's Misham Uvdin Dechel. Uvdin Dechel have a kli which is designated for banging, making noise, or like a teacher's bell or something like that. It's also Misham Uvdin Dechel. And I think that Rebbe also says somewhere about that blowing a shofar is also Misham Uvdin Dechel.
Stam banging, you could.
Stam banging is fine, yeah.
Even
bang.
if it's not for a song.
Yeah. There's a shit in the Yerushalmi on the Grub Passings like that stam bang, you're not allowed to bang on a door on Shabbos.
I thought only if you bang to a song you're allowed to bang.
You're allowed? No, banging to a song is when it's also.
Oh, banging to a song you're not allowed to?
Yeah, because then
You're
you're
not allowed
miskavin.
to bang like this?
Because then you're miskavin, meaning, usually when people bang on the table, you're trying to make you're trying to do it musically, like if you're trying to do a beat, that would be also you're doing it musically. It's like when people say like if a ring or a nigan and you're going like that, I don't know, you're miskavin saying l'shem shir. I don't know. It's just yeah, you're getting into it. Okay. Is it considered okay? Is the l'shem shir? Okay, I'm not sure. But it's
with the drum on the table you can't.
Yeah, drumming on the table. Yes, also. And
the head of the Ramah. We hadden
yeah.
Is dat clapping and dancing?
So
say
not for actual instruments.
Say or actual instruments, or let's say
the Taz and the Olirava, they say that even this that the Ramah brings down, that nowadays since people don't know how to make their own instruments, so the Gzeir isn't around. The Taz and the Olirava says that Limit Chus itself is only for clapping and like dancing and stuff like that. It's not for actual instruments. And their Masber, the Chassidus talks about the Shari Ephraim. It's nice because there's two. What do you mean we're not bucky to maybe? There's two chashashas. Hashem Yisakin Klei Shir. One is that you might come to fix the instrument you're using, and another part is even if you don't have instruments, you're just doing it with your hands. You might come to make an instrument. So he says, so if you're doing it with your hands, clapping with your hands, you can understand that the Gzeira doesn't apply anymore because people don't know how to make their own instruments. But to play an instrument and it breaks, the chashash isn't that you're going to make it, the chashash is you're going to fix it, so that people know how to fix a string on a guitar or something when they're using it. So if the Gzeira does, it does still apply.
Especially if we're talking about people who seasoned guitar players or seasoned musicians. Something breaks, they know they're going to have extras.
Why can't you say the thing about the door clapper? Maybe it'll break and you'll come to fix it.
And you'll come to fix it?
Yeah. Same zero.
So they never made a Gzeira for you, saying if you go such a mountain you can't use anything, then it's going to break. Saying something, I guess, saying why dafka shir, why dafka music, are they worried? I guess, I don't know, since the music is so geschmack, there's more chashash than other things. Saying why they make such a Gzeira by other things, to use other things maybe it's going to break and you're going to fix it. I don't know, I guess the chashash is more by music. Music is more of like a shmak. I think there's more of a chashash. They come to do it. I'm not sure. Why dafka this?
But the door clapper, you said that it's because it was the chel, or maybe dust. You're saying you went far. It doesn't sound like it's the same zera.
So that's what the Aruch HaShulchan and the Mishabur want to say. That it's even because they're bothered. What's not playing music? What's this for making noise?
But if you say the chashash is it'll break, I guess it's only with music, right?
But then they didn't make the Gzeira for other things. They made it for music.
Right.
Just because it's also its purpose is to make noise doesn't mean its purpose is to make music. It's two different.
Right. So that's why they're bothered. That's what we want to say. It's Mishon. It's for a different reason. We'll see. Also, but the Mishnah really goes to a table. What happens if you're stuck outside someone's door and they don't hear you? You want to use the door knocker to knock louder, and you can't get in. Could be makel. So he brings down from the Kalkelos HaShabbos, which is from the Pir Yochanan Bayis on the Mishnayos. Hakdama to Masechta Shabbos, he has Kalkelos HaShabbos. So he says, B'shas Hadchak, when he can't get into the house, he could be able to use the door stopper. Or if they had some bell which wasn't electric, you could ring the bell if it's not an electric thing. So being why he said being that the whole that it's only a stretch, that it's a shit, it's an extra chumrah the maril, not to you're not miskaven to make music, you're just trying to make noise. So it's a chiddush, not everyone holds of that. So maybe he says he could be mekel. And so this is in the 6th Maramakim. The Bir Allah and Simin Shin Lamed Ches, he says, V'hinirei isi b'sefer kilkelas Shabbos shekosav de b'makim hadchak kishein yachali lichnis l'bayis l'chatzer. You can't get into the yard or into the house beloize without ringing the bell. Yesh lahakam mitam denuchal ismei chashkitas harift kishein derech shir motor. If you say mecham derif that as long as it's not musical what you're doing, it's fine. As long as you're not making music, you can still make noise even with the kli which is designated for making noise.
Second, the Shulchan Aruch is passing of the you know?
Shulchan Aruch paskins like that. Yep.
That you're allowed to if it's not derech noise. But it
The
nevertheless,
Ramah is machmir.
he still says
The
that
Ramah
even,
brings the chumrah.
even though we pass like the Rif, there's still machmir by a door knocker.
Yeah, something which is designated.
Oh,
That's
this
the
is-
Ramah.
This is the Ramah, the second paragraph here?
Yeah. Sorry,
Continuation
yeah,
of the
Ramah.
Ramah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so it's just the Ramah, the Mechaber doesn't
Yeah,
bring
Mechaber.
it.
Yeah, the Mechaber brings in the basis that he says he. I don't think he doesn't. The Mechaber doesn't pass like that. Like the
That it's
Mechaber.
also.
Yeah, like the
The
Mechaber is
door
mutter.
banger is also.
Yeah, like the Mechaber is mutter. There's no problem with the door knocker. He brings another vert. He brings from the Tosefes Shabbos. He also says if you have a special door knocker, the Tosefes Shabbos also learns that the isra of something designated for making noise is mishum uvdin l'chil. So he says if you have something a special one for Shabbos, you have 2 door knockers. You have a Shabbos door knocker. You write l'kavod Shabbos on it, so then it's okay. Then there's no issue of uvdin l'chil.
I never use menthol. I only use it in Shabbos.
Don't use unless it's.
So this is on the other side
People
of the
have
page.
electric bell and the one that comes to the door. You know?
Oh, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see soon. Whatever. This word, the Shevet Levi has a nice word. Let's first read this. He says, "Va'idei shleiman." Va'ifan acher. The hot pasuk Ramah the kli hamiyuchad lahashmiya kel aser. This Ramah says that kli, which is designated for making noise, is aser. Laf mishum dehu shivus gomer. Not because it's a real shivus, just like playing instruments or clapping. El mishum the mechzika udin lechel. It looks like uvdin lechel. It looks like you're doing something you're not supposed to do on Shabbos. You see this also in the Besefer Tosefes Shabbos. Shemati lahakish aladelis bekli hamiyuchad rak l'Shabbos. If it's a kli, even though it's miyuchad for making noise, but it's nafka for Shabbos, that's okay. That's why, because it's uvdin l'chil. By the isra uvdin l'chil, if you designate a different one for Shabbos, so then it's not uvdin l'chil anymore, because you can see you're doing it different for Shabbos. And the Shevet Halevi, Netshuva, he has a nice word. He says, if it's for Shabbos, he says, nowadays everyone has electric bells, and you have a door knocker which you use only for Shabbos. So he says that's fine. You use the door knocker because you only use it on Shabbos. During the week you use the electric bell. So.
So this mutter is
Yeah.
not chos.
No, he says it's not. Yeah, he says it's fine.
The lady says it's mutter.
Yeah. So he's saying now that I'm saying it's the same idea as the Tosefes Shabbos. He says
If you have
if it's-
electric bell.
Yeah. Yeah. Saying if that's the only thing you have on your door, then that's an issue.
In the building, it's not.
So-
It doesn't work.
You put it as Shas Chak. You're
not
now
very-
you're
it's
saying
not
it's
very
a
loud.
Chachila mutar.
Well, it's not louder than you're now.
Your title was Shas
Oh, no one has
Chak,
electric
but
bells.
I guess according to Shevet Levi, it's Chachila mutar.
Shasat Chak, meaning it's not designated for Shabbos. You just have a regular bell, even one of these bells, right? It's not electric. One of the regular bells. So, but Shasat Chak, no, they can't hear you, and you can't bang loud enough. So usually banging sometimes louder than the bell. But it's if the bell is louder, then you could Shasat Chak, you could ring the bell if you can't get in. So that's Lagabe. That's B'cholos the Inyanim. Some other things discussions that come up is putting bells on a Perechis or on a Sefer Torah. So that when the Sefer comes around, people should hear it and they'll stand up. L'kavi Torah. So it's machlekes in the Peskin. The Taz says it's osir, saying it's miyuchud, it's designated for making noise. That's why you put it there. But the Magen Avram and a lot of other places were makel. So they say the minhag is to put on the Sefer Torah. And that's the minhag, and that's how we're talking that we're makel.
The only reason why it wouldn't be the only reason why it'd be us is because it's also
Right. It's Michal Hashmiya Kel, and it's Michal Hashmiya Kel, but it's still an issue. So what's the reason to be mekel? So the Magen Avram brings down three svaras to be mekel. One of them is the Rama says that the Gzeira is not shaykh nowadays. The Gzeira Hashem Yisakin Klei Shir, so you have that siruf to be mekel. Also. He says there's a word from the Maram that if you're not miskavin to make noise, then it's fine. So certain rings are different, or clothes with bells on it, and even though you put it on there to make noise, but when you put it on and you're walking, you're not trying to make noise, you're not thinking about it. Since you're not miskavin, it's also fine. If you're not miskavin to make noise. And the third reason is mekel. It's the reason to be mekel. You have because b'malki mitzvah. So b'malki mitzvah you could be mekel with the Isser of Shami Sakin Klei Shir.
Of the Dachar. The reason is of the Dachar.
Right. Yeah, of the
Same thing, I guess. You say B'Shas Tzchar.
right.
For a mitzvah.
Yeah. So he says he could be mekel. So the Eliyah Rambam brings down the Kudus of the Magen Avram, and he also brings up what's the shayla with if you have a door. People they hang chimes on the door, so around the time someone comes in. So he also brings up that discussion. So number 7, the Eliyah Rambam, so Mishnah Lamed Ches says Upamoinim al Sefer Torah, the bells which they have on the Sefer Torah, Eipareches. So Ataz B'Yerdei on Siman Reish Pei Beis V'Kan Mishnah Lamed Ches, he's Eiser, so you can't use that on Shabbos. The Nachlas Svi and Magen Avram Matirin, they're mekel. Kamesha Kosav and Siman Mishnah Lamed Ches of Gimel. Meaning, Kamesha Kosav over there, the Ramah, that the Gzeir isn't shaykh nowadays. Nowadays, we're not bucking how to make place shir, so it's okay. So that's one of the reasons he brings. He says, Ulfiza, Ishleimar, Al Zeh, Seim Prin Hakel Bezug, Shekavin, Bedloses Habayis, Kitei Lashmiu, Kishnichnas Adam. So you could say that this is why people are mekel, to have a bell on the door so you can hear when someone's coming in. He says, Umihu, the Kaiman Yizbar, the Davkel Linyan Tipuach, Berikod Mekilin. The Eliyah Rabbah and the Taz, all later, they also say that the limit chus, and nowadays we don't know how to make a klei shir, and you could be mekel, it's after leaning, clapping, and dancing, but not using instruments or kalim which are designated for making noise. So the heter won't work for the bells that they put on the door. The preches mitzvah. And another reason that the Magen Avram gives is because Pareches is Tzerich Mitzvah. So if it's on the door, the bells you have on the door, is both of these reasons don't work. So he says, the Tam Shekas of Magen Avram, but this third reason that the Magen Avram gives is the Oishe Shepesecha Pareches Le Miskaven Lekavon. The person opening the Pareches he doesn't have a mind to make the noise, he's just opening it. In Kin Huatin Bezug Hadelis. So when you have the door on the bell on the door, you have the chimes. That's also fine according to that reason, because he's not Miskaven to make the noise. And so often, you can't be mekel. This for just this reason isn't good enough. The Magen gives you 3 reasons to be mekel. She says just with one of them isn't enough. So like people have the door chimes, just like the Mechavah, just like Shulchan said. What if you're shaking volume is if you know the person's not going to listen to you? So it's over here. So him and the Mishnah Berurah, they say it's better not to have the door, not to do the door chimes.
So is it better not to walk in the door, or is it just better not to have it?
Not to have.
So it's for whom it's.
Like if you have them on the door, could you walk in?
No. Let's say
Someone else.
Yeah, because if it's your house, then it's your problem to go. If you go to someone else's house and they have to make sure
someone else's house, I think that's different. The Mishnah Berurah says that what's the issue of putting it on? What's the issue of putting on? You're talking about Miskav L'Shem Shir. He says, yeah, true the second Miskav L'Shem Shir, but when you hung it up, you were Miskav L'Shem Shir. He says the whole part you're not Miskav L'Shem Shir is the Chatchil, you're never Miskav there. You didn't put it there, it just happens to be there. You have something that makes noise, and you're not Miskav at all. But when you hung it up, you're Miskav L'Shem Shir. Elamai, when you're walking in the door, you're not Miskav. He says, so that's not good enough. So Lepel, so if you're walking into someone else's house and you didn't put up the chimes over there, so I think it's
It's only an issue if you put them up and you're walking in.
yeah. You also saying you also have a shas adchak, whatever. You also have the vart of the bechil. So saying it's unless it's a musical chimes. I'm saying it's one of those nice musical ones, and it's not just within the chil.
Is there a difference if the bell has a inside or not? Some bells have a what's it called, a clapper inside. I always understood that in Sefer Torah they don't put the inside thing. They just make it the outside. You know, a bell has an
But
inside.
it still
and
makes noise, no?
Banging
Even-
on each other, not.
I just I don't know. Maybe I made it up.
Is the do they attack it and Afghan not put it inside? Okay, I don't know.
I thought I don't know. Maybe.
I say the ikar is if it makes
I said it
noise.
makes
If you
noise,
put up a
so-
bell over there and it makes noise, so I'm saying if
It
it
just
had,
looks like a bell, but it doesn't have anything inside shaking.
but it's still making noise. If it didn't make noise, then fine. It's taka, okay. I'm saying if your kavanah was taka not to make noise, you just put the bells there because it looks
It's different.
nice.
It's not miyuched to make noise if it doesn't have the piece inside. That's,
Okay.
that could be
Maybe it's a little
difference.
better. Maybe.
Okay,
Okay, you have to check next time.
Okay, nachinani. If they taka don't put in the bells because they don't want it to make noise, and they're just putting the
It makes noise 'cause it's
but
metal,
The kli is
but
not.
not- but it's not-
Nachinani, if they taka just put it there to look nice, and they don't put it, and it's not put there to make noise, so then nachinani. Nachinami wouldn't be. You're attacking at Miskavin to make noise. But even if you were Miskavin, I'll tell you that the Magaron,
You have all the reasons.
Hmm?
If you Sefer Torah has all three reasons.
Yeah.
Welcome mitzvah.
Okay, mitzvah, we're not booking cliche, Shemisakin cliche, and
What was the third one?
and the third one was,
You're not miskaven to.
right, you're not Miskavin. The person opening it is not Miskavin. And actually, Lashon Al Tereb is, even if you will be Miskavin, since it's a Shem Mitzvah, you could be Mekel. That's Lashon Al Tereb. Fine. So that's the nice with the door stoppers and the Sefer Torahs. I mean the door chimes. So now, okay, so getting to clapping and dancing on Simchas Torah and on Shabbos and other times. So Simchas Torah is a klar heter which is brought down already b'shem Hai Goyim that you could be mekel. So Lucky Mitzvah Kavir Torah you could dance and clap on Shabbos. There's no issue. So the Marik, the Beises, it brings down from the Marik, and on the 8th Marimokim, says the Kosav, Beises and Simin Shinamates, says the Kosav Marikulin, in Zal Bashirish Test, so the Marik over there writes, B'shem Rabbeinu Hai, Rabbeinu Hai Goyin, Shabi Yoyim Simchas Torah Mutter L'Rakid, B'shasha Imim Kilusim L'Torah. Now on Simchas Torah, you're allowed to dance when people are being Meshabeach, when you're being Meshabeach the Torah. They not go by Heter, Mishum Kavid Al Torah. And the reason we're making is because of Kavid Al Torah. And keeping the lace by El Mishum Shvus. Since the whole Isser is only Isser Shvus, the Mela, it's only a Shvus you can be Mekel b'Makim Mitzvah. So this is the big hat that they have for doing for Simchas Torah. And so, but even though B'Lepel, this is only for Simchas Torah. He's not Mekel for other Yom Tovim. So Simchas Torah is Taka. There's more. It's a bigger Simcha for Stamazay and Shabbos. He's not Mekel. And for Lepel, the Minhag Hasidim Sataka clap and dance on Shabbos and Yom Tov. And there's a tshuva the Rebbe quotes a lot for the Minchas Al-Lazar when he's miyashiv the Minhag. And it's mitzvah of two svaras. First of all, you have the Ramah that and the Tesis that nowadays we're not booking and shani sakin klishir. And then you also have mitzvah besides for that. You also have the svara of the Malki Mitzvah. The Marik is Mekel Malki Mitzvah. So the tzir of these two things, he says he could be Mekel for clapping and dancing on Shabbos. And the ready also the Ishal Avram, the Butchacher, I think it was a Talmud of the Maggid. He also says he can be Mekel clapping. He writes the reason people are Mekel with clapping now on Shabbos. He says since the people are Mekel to clap and dance by Chasanas on Shabbos. So he was saying, your shulchan, the Eivisher shulchan shouldn't be any less than your shulchan. If you can be Mekel for Chavai Chasanas to clap and dance, Kosher came for the Eivisher for its tefillah. He goes, it's a kshakish stickle. He goes, Arichas v'Aripas HaTefillah, it has to be with a chayis and a simcha. And even though we don't have such a chayis, even though it's not a chayis pnimius, but L'Pel, through the chtzainis, it brings the pnimius, and it's
Clap and davening?
yeah, clapping, yeah. It's a kshakish stickle he writes over there. And
What was this again?
the Ishla Avram, Butchacher.
Isn't Ishal Avram the Prima Gadol?
It's called Eish Avram. There's Eish Avram Butchacher, which is it's in the back of the Shulchan Aruch. So there's besides for that there's a sikha in Tafshin Lamed Aleph where the Rebbe was making chizuk. People like the ring and they were clapping Klach Hayad. They didn't want to do it the regular way, so the Rebbe makes chizuk for them. In the ninth line, looking, it's Sichas Kodesh Tafshin Lamed Aleph in Parsha Shlach. The Rebbe says, "Es einen da ot di was is zei kasha der Inyan was men patch mit die Hand." It's Shabbos Yom Tov. It's schwer for them that they're clapping with their hands. Was der River bis a paar Jahren zurück haben sie gepatcht mit die Hand otazoi. They're clapping like this. And the Mele is doch verstandig, was für Aponim Simcha is given durch Patchen azoi. So patching azoi, you can imagine what type of Simcha you get from patching like that. Aber es ist doch Yedua, if then die Tshuva von der Munkacher, Minchas Elazar, wie der Inyan is a Iska hatten in Halacha. Und der fits in Halacha. Und befragt, as das ist doch a Minig Yisrael is doch Mevatel Halacha. So even if you didn't have Heter, but it's Minig Yisrael. Warum Minig Yisrael Teirahi, die steht in Yerushalmi. Und befragt genau, especially like we said before, as das ist a Gar al Pi Halacha, even al Pi Halacha it stimmt. Und das ist euch B'Shabbos, was heißt da, in also an Shabbos, da sein den Inyan Simcha. Was Hagam in Alter Rebbe in Shulchan Aruch steht doch, der Lashon on Shabbos is der Inyan von Einig. So Ches hat Inyan Simcha, so who needs a clapping on Shabbos? It says, meint das nicht zu Shelo sein, as in Shabbos is nicht da der Inyan von Simcha. It's not pshat that we don't have the Inyan of Simcha on Shabbos. No, the Simcha very niklal in der Einig. The Simcha is a part of the Einig. Was das is als a Meimer Musker. Das ist so Agav. So, whatever. But if they don't like the patching of the hand thing.
It's a known Piskum, Minig is Mevatel Halacha. Ever heard that before?
Minig Yisrael, yeah.
Minig is there? Yeah, we all know. But
Minig Mevatel, yeah. Where's the muck of the Piskum? I don't remember, but yeah, it's thing is said a lot.
no, for sure. It's
and so that's nice with clapping, dancing on Shabbos. So the last thing to get into is with for kids the baby toys, the different rattles and different musical toys they have. So
Some toys that bang on the table will still be awesome.
banging for what? Like for a beat? Banging with the beat and niggin?
Yeah, when they're singing and they probably for ringing.
I'm saying a simple Shabbos. I'm saying if a ring, I'm saying it's not Seirach Mitzvah. Okay, is it?
Simcha. It's also Simcha.
Hmm?
It's also Simcha. It's different than clapping.
Right. Yeah, you're saying you know, it's not a part of Simcha Shabbos. It's like a ring.
What would it be?
Saying the Minchas of the Butchacher, they're talking about clapping. They're talking about Shas HaTfilah. Shas HaTfilah to Sir Leiberser.
No, it's a What was that?
Minchas Elazar. I don't remember. Was he Dafke Shas HaTfilah? He was also talking Dafke Tfilah. I don't remember. Okay, saying Stam's there for ringing. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's also say it's Seirach Mitzvah.
It's definitely Minig Yisrael's.
The question is if you could bang with the beat, that's for sure.
I was saying it's the same thing as clapping.
You're not clapping with the beat. I'm saying
You're clapping to the
banging
niggin.
like
You're
that,
miskaven
it's
the
a
same
niggun.
shear. But the vert is you're miskaven to
It's
make.
the same shear, or it's just a Slav. You know, you're a label. It's
Clapping
not
is also
dafka.
to make a beat to niggin. It's
No, it's the same. It's not a beat dafka. When you clap, it's not banging. It's not the same shear dafka.
You're right. Stop making as a. You're right. Stop making as a. Yeah. Let's see what if you talk. Yeah. If you're talking banging with clapping banging with the beat, then. Yeah. So the next thing is for kids. Kids there for musical toys or rattles. There's two parts of the shayla. First of all, is a muksa. Could you give it to them? And also, could you make noise with them to entertain them? So So Shmir Shabbos Kilchasa, he's in a lot of Achrinim there, Moshe and also in Mishnah Halachis, they say it's fine. You don't have to be there's no Isra Muksa. You could give a rattle stickers on Shabbos. Shmir Shabbos Kilchasa says you shouldn't do it yourself, but you shouldn't rattle it, but you could give it to them. It's number
Without
10.
shaking it.
Yeah. He says Mutalitin biyatin katan min hatzitsuyim hamashmin kail, which make noise. Kashum min ania isan. Elichetz alein. When you shake it or you push a button on it. Ulay vande shel gadol asr lashmiya kol kail b'tzitzuyim ela. Tzitzuyim ela. Gam im hu isakim mishmal tinik. Even if you're doing it for the tinik, it's also an issue.
But you could give it to them.
Yeah, so you could give it to them. To give it to them is fine. Yeah, you know, saying the reasons he bring in the other, some of the reasons he brings down to the Mekel there from Shleim Zalman is that it's, well, first of all, a kli which is designated for making noise, first of all, the Chal is a machlekes, whether it's also. It's in between the Mechaber and Amol, that Amol's Machmir. And the Prima Gotim says he's Mesupik, something which is also Mitzad Chumra, it's not also Medina, is there is for Tilton, is there is for Moksa. So that's one thing, a Shaila. Besides for that, there's svaras that for a katan you could be makel. You could be makel to get. You could be more makel. And also he says the fact that it's just made for a kid. It's not a toy. He says no issue uvd in the chil. If you want to say the issue uvd in the chil, it's a toy for a kid. There's no issue uvd in the chil.
So you're not allowed to carry it for no reason. It's not that it's not muktzah at all.
There's even a svara that it's not muksa at all.
Most of those
Can't
svaras
shake
that
it.
we gave
That's why there's no issue that you're giving him the isser. The shaila is how can you give a kid something which is also.
well, that's inside him.
Well, yeah, right. Once there's no issue to give it to him, it's allowed to be used. The kid's allowed to use it. So the mela is not muksa anymore because it has a use on Shabbos.
So you can give it to him and you can put it away.
Yeah. Listen, the chip of the Mishnah Halachis, he quotes from Shleim Zalman the word that since it's for the katan, he's allowed to use it. Maybe it's not muksa for the gadol either. There's the Makar Chaim from the Chavas Yor. He says that if the kid's mamish crying and he mamish can't calm him down, so he says he could be make since the kid in the katan has a din of a chila, he could be make even to rattle it for him to entertain him. This number 11 he writes. The kashkesh be'egois. So Shulchan Aruch says he can't make use these things to make noise for the kids to entertain them. He says kol shekein b'kli have a kashkesh kamesh kasavation and shinlan meches. So for sure a rattle is going to be awesome. He says ve'esher de lashtika mi b'chiyasei harav. If he's mamish crying a lot, in order to quiet him down, it's going to be shor will be mutter. Kibsin shin chav ches sif yadzayin in the hagon. But I'm over there. It says that a katan has a din of a chayla shem v'isakana. The male of a certain is certain rabban and he could be makel. So he says in the Tshuva Mishnah Halachis he says you should do a kalach haryan. How the kalach haryan? So clapping kalach haryan is what he said. For a katan with a rattle, you can do a kalach haryan if it's necessary. Yeah, so that's the discussion.
You're saying all the time, you always mention all them about dancing.
Dancing.
Jikut is also dancing?
Yeah, that's
I
in.
don't.
Yeah, it's in number 3. In the first line, name says Harakis, V'lei Meraktim.
He said it from, what is that
Dancing
from? From the
session.
Gemara, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's quoting the
It's a Mishnah. I think it's a Mishnah. In Be'ah. I was listening to Shir for one of these. From some guy one time. He says, okay, what about the. You say Litvish, whatever, they have on Shabbos, they do the tonsil. So he says, he calls it the Yeshiva Shuffle. It's not together dancing.
Shinoi.
But the Yeshiva Shuffle. For the fail, we're going to call you out real dancing.
Snapping your fingers.
So he said, if you're doing it musically, so the Shulchan